Alright guys, well I'm back today with a quick video on an MTM ammo crate as well as transferring a knife collection, so I figured I'd bring you guys along. If you don't know, part of the gear channel was to review knives, accessories, and different types of gear. And I'm a pretty huge knife collector, and I always try to find ways to store knives, as well as ways to try to store other gear, ammo, things like that. So this ammo crate is pretty slick, and it can be had for a very reasonable price on Amazon. For a size comparison, here is my hand. So this is a medium-sized ammo crate with latches located on the sides, and then everything lifts up, and you can see that this one actually has an O-ring seal, which is really nice. So what I wanted to do was bring you along with transferring some of my knives into this case for a little bit longer term storage, more collectible knives, but low-end knives, something that I really don't care too much about, mainly flea market cheap knives like $5 or $6 and under, but things I think are actually pretty cool, and I like to pull them out and use them occasionally and put them back in here. So let's do that transfer and talk a little bit more about this case. So digging through that other case, I realized I had some good knives in there that I completely forgotten about. The first one we're going to take a look at is this Boker Magnum Auto. Found these guys at a pawn shop. I believe they were new old stock just sitting there. And these things are pretty slick automatic knives. I've got two of these to put up and one that I carry. When I find something like this, if I can grab two or three, it's pretty nice that you can get a deal if you grab a few more. Some other nicer knives are an out the front Schrade. This was actually from a knife shop in town. I thought was pretty cool. This is one of those out the fronts that's kind of automatic, but more of an assisted opening style knife. You can see the safety right there. And what you'll do is you'll just push that up and it shoots out the top. But then to unlock it, you have to kind of grab this top piece, push up, and then pull down. So that's pretty cool. And again, this is actually legal to carry since it's not a true automatic. Some of the other nicer ones I found were some from Browse Blades. Now these I actually picked up during some of their Thanksgiving sales, and these are really nice knives from Browse Blades. If you haven't checked these guys out, go follow them on Instagram. These are some high-end knives though. So it's funny that I've got some cheaper knives and some higher-end knives. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to put these higher-end knives that I'm showing you right now in the ammo can, but I'm going to go through the rest of those higher-end knives as well as a few custom knives. This is a knife that I have that was actually designed by my good friend and cameraman Brett from B&D Knives. He actually made this guy by hand with carbon fiber handle. This thing is such an impressive knife, and I'll add the link for all of his information in the description below for B&D Knives. He even makes the sheaths for all these, so you can get them custom made the way you want, and he does some really nice work. So now let's talk about those cheaper knives. This was one of the Kissing Crane knives that I picked up. More of a stiletto look. I've got two of those, so we're going to put those in here. And then I actually picked up a lot of Frost cutlery knives. From the flea market. A lot of them were new old stock, and the guy who was selling them actually had them for a very long time. I've always seen him at the flea market, probably for the past, honestly, 10 years, and he decided to liquidate all of those. Now, normally they were selling these knives at the flea market for about 10 bucks a piece, which in my opinion was slightly overpriced. But I believe once I started dealing with him and trading with him, I ended up getting these for right around $2 a piece. So some people still may not like them even at $2 a piece, but these are the old school vintage Frost cutlery knives. And I think they're just really cool for about $1.75 or $2 a piece. I couldn't pass them up. So I bought everything he had, and that is what kind of spurred me to start this little collection. So I like these little guys, and they're cool to just pull out of your pocket and give as Christmas presents and give away to people, as well as just hold on to your own personal collection. So here's some of the bigger ones. We'll put those to the side. So overall, pretty cool knives. I'm going to finish stacking out the rest of this box with the Frost, and then we'll come back and look at the rest of them. I thought this one was pretty cool. This is a Steel Warrior. I wanted to show you guys that real quick as well. Saved a few out to show you guys. This is one of the Steel Warriors with the pearl inlays, or the fake pearl inlays. This is another one that I thought was actually pretty cool. And again, a lot of these were like $2. Maybe some of the nicer ones were $3. It was just really hard to pass up. There's another Frost Cutlery Steel Warrior. Another one of those. I also had a few other knives that I was picking up, some Ridge Runners and Timberwolves. A lot of these, again, were reasonably cheap. I believe this one was pretty interesting because it was that fake Damascus. I highly doubt it was real Damascus for what I paid for this knife. I like collecting these little guys because they're just fun to have lying around. Some more Kissing Cranes and different variations, and some more Timberwolves. So you can see how many knives you can actually pack into this case, which is pretty cool. I'm going to start putting some of the better ones in here up top. Some of the Bokers and that Schrade. We'll find a spot for it. As well as I think I'm going to drop some of the nicer knives on the top. I also have been picking up some random things in the flea market, some flea market finds. Like this knife, you know, it doesn't have a name on there, but it does look pretty cool with a nice leather sheath. If you guys want to see some flea market finds, let me know. I'm always trading with people, and I used to do a lot of Craigslist before YouTube got pretty big. I had some more time to do that. There's another one. And here's one of the cheapest OTFs I've ever seen. Plastic handle OTF. It works every time though. And if I say it works every time, but if it does mess up, you know, you can pull it right back out. This is actually a pretty slick OTF, even though it's like cheap plastic. I think something like this was like, I don't know, $10. Probably paid a little too much for it, but I thought it was pretty cool at the time. I've actually got some other OTFs coming. I've ordered, so we'll see how those do. I believe those will be metal handles and much better quality, but it's harder and harder to find OTF knives that are worth anything. So I hope you guys like this video, and I hope it gives you some options for knife storage with this ammo crate. I'm really excited about this, and I've used a lot of their products in the past. I feel like you can easily transport these because they have the handles built into the side. They've got that O-ring seal to keep out moisture, and they can carry a lot of weight and store things very nicely. I'll add a link in the description below to this ammo can, whether you are storing ammo, knives, or other accessories. And something like this is actually great for the trunk of your car. I'll probably grab a couple more for jumper cables, things like that that you want to keep contained in the back of your car. Or maybe some survival or emergency items that you want to have an O-ring seal. Also remember to check out B&D Knives if you're interested in some custom handmade knives. All of these are handmade in his shop, and when he started, I think he was making knives when he was around 17 years old, and he's 20 now, and he's doing a really good job, and I like to see his progression, and I like to support local guys like that. Also, again, check out Browse Blades. They've got a ton of different options, including some options now for their import line and different sales. Now, these are higher end. I believe a lot of their knives start at about $80 all the way up to $400 or $500, but you can find some pretty cool sales occasionally, especially with their import models. I hope this gives you some high value storage options and a look into my knife collection. If you want to see more of my knife collection, this is actually only like, I don't know, 1/10 of my knife collection. So if you want to see more of that, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.